Hello and welcome back to Pseudo Gameplay TV. I am your host Pseudo, and today we're back looking at the next draft of the CCSL. And real quick before we jumped into the actual matchups, I just wanted to show you how these characters break down into what teams, what skins they'll be using based off of what teams they were drafted into. So we see Pikachu in his black cap alternate skin for Team Obsidian, or Division Obsidian. We have red-skinned female Wii Fit Trainer's alternate skin for the Cardinal Division, the darker blue Lucario for the Division, and the white-haired red tunic alternate version of Hero 11 for the Ivory Division. So just wanted to have a quick look at that, and now let's jump into today's matchups. Welcome to part 2 of the draft for the CCSL. Today we have quite the lineup of combatants, so let's jump into the tournament and meet our contestants.
Round 1.
So in our first round, we will be watching a matchup between Piranha Plant and Mr. Game & Watch. Do keep in mind that each winner of these rounds will guarantee themselves a spot in the first season of the CCSL, while the others will have an opportunity to rejoin at a later date based off of their performance. But let's get into this first matchup between Piranha Plant and Mr. Game & Watch and see what these fighters bring to the table. Now, even though he's a little pixelated, Mr. Game & Watch is quite the formidable opponent, as we watched from his air dodge of Piranha Plant's Patooey attack there. And right off the bat, getting quite the upper hand on Piranha Plant with his myriad of attacks. Forward air, attacks on some extra nice damage there. Piranha Plant misses his side B in the Poison Cloud. Nothing from the down B either. Having a bit of a difficult time getting the matchup on Mr. Game & Watch here. Still anyone's game. The down air. Down B still isn't going to do it. Mr. Game & Watch favoring the chair. Piranha Plant still making it back to the stage in quite a desperate situation, though the stock percentages are about even. Mr. Game & Watch trying to gimp Piranha Plant's recovery, doesn't quite manage to do it. That's going to send him flying. The Nair, quite well done. Grapples, and that's going to do it for Mr. Game & Watch's first stock. Piranha Plant turning this around. Still finds himself at quite the disadvantage percentage-wise. Taking advantage. Nice parry. Piranha Plant catches him with the Patooey. And appears to have figured out how Mr. Game & Watch is dealing with this matchup. And that's going to do it. Stock 2 taken by Piranha Plant. Still looking in some dire shape, but he seems to have figured Mr. Game & Watch out, which doesn't spell great odds for our combatants. Side B doesn't quite do it for Mr. Game & Watch there. And Piranha Plant now up to 200% and still holding on. But that dash attack's going to do it for Mr. Game & Watch, finding himself at quite the disadvantage. Side B doesn't quite connect. A 3 is not exactly what he's looking for. Piranha Plant absorbs the forward air and the bomb from Mr. Game & Watch there. Gets an 8 off of the side B, freezing Piranha Plant. Plants don't exactly like being frozen, but it is not enough, and Piranha Plant is going to move forward and be accepted into the CCSL. The question remains, to what team will he be drafted? But let's go ahead and check out our next matchup and see who else will be moving forward. So with the first matchup going to Piranha Plant, we move on to our second matchup between Robin and Incineroar, both in their darker skins. Is this a bit of a grudge match or just a shadow battle? We're here to find out, so let's move forward. Now, Incineroar may have a little bit of trouble facing off against Robin here, as Robin has quite a preference for his ranged arsenal. And Incineroar's not naturally weak to electrical attacks, but Robin still seems to be putting a bit of the smackdown on him. But Incineroar can turn the tide of a battle really quickly with his heavy hitting attacks. Incineroar finding himself in a bit of a sticky situation, not able to recover after getting pushed too far out to the side by Robin, and Robin does take the lead. Gets caught with the neutral B. Incineroar looking to even the score. Robin doing quite well with the parry, but Incineroar gets the counter there and does put the smackdown on Robin. Robin's still overall doing quite a bit better. The up tilt there, and the forward air. And that's going to do it for Robin. There's nothing that can compete against the Alolan Whip when you've got that much damage. Robin's still at the percent advantage, but a single up tilt takes him from about 5% to 30. Heals some of his damage back with the Nosferatu. Avoids the arc fire, but gets pushed pretty far off stage. Does manage to make it back. The cross chop gets him back to the ledge, but things still not looking too good for our boy Incineroar. Does make it back to the ledge. Gets another Alolan Whip off, not nearly high enough of a percent to actually make advantage of it. The down smash not going to do it for Incineroar. Doesn't get the revenge, and Incineroar finds him down yet again, another stock. Gets the double parry on the arc fire, but then proceeds to walk into it, giving Robin more free damage. Down throw. A few more aerial attacks, not quite going to do it. Gets caught in the arc fire again. Robin at 100%, now 120. Incineroar needs to play a near flawless game going forward if he wants to keep going, but it's not going to happen. And Robin is going to also advance and be accepted into the CCSL. Now moving on to the other side of the bracket, we move on to the third matchup in this first round in determining who moves on to the CCSL and who remains on the outs. In this matchup, we have Dr. Mario and Young Link as they face off in their bid for being drafted. Let's see what these contestants can do and who has what it takes to move on. Young quite the equipment arsenal to counter Dr. Mario here, though Dr. Mario does have his pills as his neutral B, always to keep in mind. Now Young Link is coming in hopes to avenge his fallen combatants. His Toon Link was put on the outs from last week's draft. Young Link seeming to keep ahead, pushing Dr. Mario up to a 100% damage. Does manage to make it back to the ledge here. Dr. Mario shielding that bomb. Young Link just barely making it back there. Both combatants at about 100% at this point. Dr. Mario with the forward throw, not going to do it. But the F smash will. And that will officially give Dr. Mario the stock lead. Getting quite a bit of dash dance action here. Throws the bomb up. Does force Dr. Mario out of his shield. Young Link needs to find a way to put Dr. Mario down a stock, and does with the up smash. Still finds himself at quite the stock disadvantage. Percent disadvantage, I should say. Boomerang comes back through, doesn't connect with Dr. Mario there. And Link down, or all the way up at 95%, now 112. Does catch Dr. Mario with the bomb. I mean, as a doctor, you wouldn't have much experience with nitroglycerin or other explosives, so I suppose it makes sense. Link continuing to get chip damage where he can, but doesn't seem to be able to... And as I say that, he does bring the stock a little more even, gets him up to 70%, but does lose out on his second stock, yet finding himself yet again at a stock disadvantage. Nice down air from Dr. Mario, not quite enough to put Link away. Possibly due to hitting the sour spot, or Link just not being at a high enough percent. Still manageable if Link can find a way to take the stock off of Dr. Mario. Up smash not quite going to do it. Link finding himself in worse and worse shape. And is not able to find his way back to the ledge. And Dr. Mario is going to be our third contestant that moves forward and finds himself accepted into the CCSL. However, the placement will be determined in the following matches right after our next matchup. So now for our fourth and final matchup, we have a showdown between Wolf and Lucina. The winner, of course, moving on into the CCSL to compete for placement, and the other finding themselves on the outs until the end of the next season. But who will it be that moves forward? Time to find out. Now, both combatants are quite skilled in hand-to-hand up close. Wolf does have the one projectile advantage in his neutral B blaster. Uses his side special, goes right over Lucina's head there. As Lucina is one of the shorter characters, but by no means the smallest or the tallest. Comfortably finding herself in the mid-range. Now, if Wolf is studied up correctly, he'll know to be hesitant around Lucina's neutral B, as that can break shields at a moment's notice. And Lucina holding herself together quite well. Wolf not quite able to get as much damage in as Lucina's been able to as of yet. Some nice slashes. Wolf catches her with the blaster up close, getting a little more even percent-wise. But Wolf is going to be able to make his way back to the stage, finding himself at a rather unfavorable percent. Gets a parting blow with Lucina, but does lose the stock out of not being able to fully recover. Wolf is successfully able to gimp Lucina's recovery, though, and we find a fresh start, both combatants starting off at 0% on their second stocks. Still very much anyone's game. Nice parry from Lucina, not able to get through Wolf's shield there, but again, must be tentative with that. Nice parry again. Gotta be careful to not rely on the shield too much. Wolf able to make it back to the stage. Not quite able to even out the percent damage here, but is doing his best at trying to keep as much distance as possible with Lucina in using his neutral B blaster. Side B is going to put some pretty serious damage on Lucina there. Almost evening things up, but Lucina keeping the advantage percent-wise. Looking to take Wolf off the top. Doesn't quite manage it there. Making it back to the stage. Both combatants sitting over 100%. One strong move could put either one of them down to their last stock. Wolf trying. Not able to capitalize on that opportunity there. Percent's essentially even. Wolf gets the edge. Still not able to take that stock, but does manage it just there. Giving Wolf a slight advantage. Now he wants to get as much damage in as he can right now to have a shot at moving forward. He's doing a pretty good job at that, but one move from Lucina could even out the stock count. Lucina just needs to get a finishing blow on Wolf to even out the stocks. And that's going to do it. Lucina's still at a 75% disadvantage. Has what it takes to get back into this, trying to equalize with a counter there. And Wolf, with the unfortunate SD, is going to find himself on the outs after such a phenomenal performance. Can't quite pull it out. And Lucina will be our fourth and final combatant in this round. To move on, which team will she be drafted to is to be decided.
Semifinals.
And now we move on to the semifinal round. Each of these combatants has secured their spot on a team in the CCSL, but now they battle for placements on those teams. So we will continue with this round of the draft in the first placement round in a matchup between Piranha Plant and Robin. Now, Piranha Plant had quite the dominating performance against Mr. Game & Watch in his first round. However, Robin could prove to be a more formidable opponent with his increased arsenal of ranged attacks. Not quite able to capitalize on the up smash there. Excellent use of Piranha's side B and up B and getting back and creating quite the amount of pressure for Robin. Putting Robin up to 100% while Piranha Plant is sitting comfortably below 40. Robin starting to use some fire. Does connect on the neutral B. And evens out the percentage count. Piranha Plant needing to finish off Robin here in order to ensure the better placement. And the dash attack there, not quite going to do it. Couldn't connect on the down B. And Robin able to avoid the Patui there. Piranha Plant sends the Patui in the wrong direction that time, but manages on the up smash to get that first stock off of Robin. Still finding himself in a bit of a sticky situation with the stock percentage. But as long as he avoids any heavy contact, he should be able to manage. Robin not able to find his way back, and Piranha Plant finds a way to cheese out that second stock, putting himself in a very favorable position for moving forward. Robin manages to make it back to stage, as does Piranha Plant. As Piranha Plant continues to put the smackdown on Robin. Down B with the super armor isn't enough, and Robin will take one stock off of Piranha Plant just now. Manages to get a little more damage on him. Piranha Plant still at a pretty considerable advantage, a full stock ahead, but Robin does cheese it out and equalize the stocks at one. Piranha Plant's down B sends a clear message to Robin that he means business. Robin makes it back with his Elf Wind, but the up smash is going to dispatch of Robin and allow Piranha Plant to move on to the final and compete for the best possible placement in this round of the drafts. And on this side of the bracket, we'll be watching the final preliminary placement round before we go to the loser's bracket and the winner's bracket to determine who gets placed on what team. And in this round, we have our matchup between Dr. Mario and Lucina. Let's see who has what it takes to face off against Piranha Plant in the final round. Again, a matchup between two pretty physical combatants. Dr. Mario has the one advantage of his ranged attack in the neutral B using his pills. Wonder if there are any sort of painkillers, because they might be needed by a lot of the people he's been facing off against. Lucina hasn't figured out a way to manage him just yet, finding herself at a full 100% disadvantage on this stock, despite getting one of the first hits in the matchup. And Dr. Mario dispatching of Lucina's first stock with nary a scratch. Lucina looking to equalize things a little bit more as we move forward. And Lucina is managing Dr. Mario's attacks a little bit better, learning to read him and counter him a little bit better. And Dr. Mario is unable to make it back. Lucina creating excellent pressure and evening the stock count out, though she is still struggling to fight back from a percent disadvantage on this stock. And finds herself at a stock disadvantage as Dr. Mario is able to dispatch of a, I guess you could say, a pseudo zero to death combo. The down B putting the hurt on Lucina, though she does manage to make it back. Lucina making it back again. She's got to be careful and not venture too far down, because that up B will not always be a reliable recovery move the deeper she goes. Excellent counter from Lucina. Dr. Mario with the sizable stock and percent advantage. Lucina would need to play nearly flawlessly in order to keep her hopes alive. Dr. Mario isn't quite able to do it, finds himself at 100%. The shield breaker comes out as more of a taunt than anything. Dr. Mario finding himself at a high percent. Doesn't seem to care too much. Lucina unable to dispatch of him. One more strong attack should be able to do it, but it's not going to be enough. And Dr. Mario will move on to face off against Piranha Plant in the final round. So Dr. Mario will find himself in the final matchup for placements 1 and 2 in this round of the draft against Piranha Plant, a matchup iridescent of Little Shop of Horrors, while our recently defeated Lucina will face off against Robin in the 3rd and 4th place matchup, or loser's bracket. And here for the 3rd placement round, the Fire Emblem Show-Off and Showdown, we have Robin and Lucina. Again, this is purely a placement match to determine who ends up on what team. And Lucina finding herself at a little bit of a disadvantage as Robin uses his spells and canters to put himself above early on in this matchup. Lucina doing her best to keep things as even as possible. Gets caught up in the arc fire. Up air looking to dispatch of Lucina as quickly as possible. Nice combo into the discarded sword. The up B gonna try and equalize a little more. But Robin is going to dispatch of Lucina's first stock. Robin doing his best to stay on top even though he's finding himself at a percent disadvantage. Given the opportunity, he may use his Nosferatu to gain back some strength, and it looks like he has. Percent's looking about even. Lucina looking for the punish there, not able to capitalize. And Lucina with the unfortunate SD as Robin is able to make it back to the screen, the main screen, or the main ledge. My mistake. Robin at a very sizable stock disadvantage. Lucina not able to dispatch of him though. The up throw still not enough. Times out the counter. Robin's tomes are running dangerously low. But the fire is just enough to catch her in two separate combos. 3 now. And we are looking not quite at a 3 stock, but the possibility was there. With a fresh set of tomes, Robin jumps back in and dispatches of Lucina with the up air, placing himself in the 3rd place position. And Lucina settling for 4th in this placement round. But let's check back to the main event, the Little Shop of Horrors Showdown. Now, Piranha Plant is probably at a little bit more of an advantage, at least in terms of arsenal and reach, but Dr. Mario has proved that he can be quite a nasty combatant, given the correct circumstances. Percent sitting about even, as both combatants dance around each other, getting a little chip damage in. Piranha Plant with a nice parry there. And good shield pressure on Dr. Mario, getting him far enough away where the down smash really didn't do much. Neither combatant able to successfully grab the other. A little more chip damage with the up B there. Dr. Mario taking the lead briefly. The double parry from Piranha Plant lets Dr. Mario know that he isn't quite done yet. And the down B from Piranha Plant still not quite enough to outdo the down B of Dr. Mario. Though Piranha Plant does manage to make it back to the stage, and we're still on an even stock count. Dr. Mario's down B doesn't quite seem to get rid of Piranha Plant there. Both combatants making it back to the stage. Piranha Plant hanging on, but still around. Makes it back to the stage. But a 3rd down B is going to be enough to give Dr. Mario the... And the Patui doesn't quite dispatch of Dr. Mario on this stock. Dr. Mario fully aware that it is something that he needs to keep in mind. Poison Cloud and the down smash going to take care of that 2nd stock off of Dr. Mario. Still at a percent advantage. Down smash not quite enough. The forward smash from Piranha Plant going to even out the stock percentage a little bit more. The forward smash, putting the hurt on Piranha Plant again, does manage to make it back with his up B recovery. Goes for the bamboozle with the Poison Cloud, not able to manage just enough off of that. Piranha Plant misses the forward smash, giving Dr. Mario an opportunity to retaliate, and that down B doing wonders for Dr. Mario's sake here. The Patooey does catch Dr. Mario off stage, sending him back. The down B dispatches of Piranha Plant's second stock, however. And the cape sends the Patooey right back. Dr. Mario at a stock advantage, though not in the greatest shape that we've seen him today. Piranha Plant throwing out nairs, connecting on some and whiffing on others. Piranha Plant does manage to save Dr. Mario there, but dispatches of him with the up smash. Piranha Plant's still able to pull this off, as he can be quite explosive when he turns up the heat. Gets a jab lock combo. Dr. Mario trying to connect on the forward air. Nothing there. Forward smash for Piranha Plant just about evens out the stock count. And he's got that Poison Cloud ready to be unleashed at a moment's notice. The down B still doing wonders for Dr. Mario. And again, as that is proved to be his dispatching move, Dr. Mario will move on and be our victor from today's matchups. And as we join Dr. Mario at the victor screen with his trophy, we just want to thank you for turning up today, watching this round of the inaugural draft. We will be back later this week with the next installment of this draft, and then move forward into doing smaller matchups as we continue through the first season of the CCSL. My name is Sinnoh. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.